some peace of mind. But TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat. And someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line. And Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. I'm just sitting here scrolling my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just...
Hello everyone, welcome. I have all the absurd since Shizzy is doing real life stuff. I am trying to do all the absurd for you. Good morning everyone. Thank you Wolfram for your modly mod duties as always. John, welcome, and Tammy CA, welcome. Jeff Montgomery, and let's see, Denise Sells. And JKD Buck, thank you for your modly mod duties as well. Audio Coffee. Colleen, Mihaklik, if I got that anywhere near incorrect, I am sorry. I graduated before Hooked on Phonics became a thing. I really had a very deprived childhood. Kay, and everyone, welcome. So we have all of the crazy, redonkulous news today. I did try to pull double duties, so you guys wouldn't miss the lack of shizziness. But our first one, well, I didn't have this on my bingo card, but if you had Rick Springfield getting mad on the Today Show, well then you're a smarter person than I am. Apparently, he was not impressed. That don't impress him much, to quote Shania Twain. 80s pop star icon Rick Springfield called out NBC host Craig Melvin for yawning during his Wednesday interview on the third hour of Today. Now, the Jesse's Girl vocalist was just over 90 seconds into a live segment discussing the 80s hit when he noticed Melvin yawn off camera. And he was having none of it. He was like, if Jesse's Girl was here, she would not be impressed. But I still wish I had her. Although, looking at her current Facebook pictures, I'm okay. I'm okay. He was like, I've seen, and she hasn't started Ozempic yet, and Jesse's Girl is about double the woman she used to be. Am I boring you? Springfield asked, a little bitchily, probably. I don't know, I don't watch Today, so probably. He said, actually, no, you're not at all, Melvin said. I apologize. It's early, don't worry about it. I'll yawn too, Springfield joked. Now, Melvin tried to explain that he wasn't yawning. He explained that it had been a cough that was one of those rare, silent, but deadly coughs. As you do. But his response was overshadowed by laughter from his co-host, Al Roker and Jill Martin. Now, the Today Show host Weatherman tried to keep the interview moving along, and the moment passed quickly. Now, the music icon continued to joke with hosts during the segment as he promoted his I Want My 80s tour and his Greatest Hits album, which is actually being sponsored by Ozempic. No, I'm just kidding. I love that it's probably being sponsored by Metamucil and Century Vitamins. Let's be real. We forget that the 80s wasn't like 10 years ago. I always think it's like, oh, the 80s, they were like 10 years ago. And that is not the case. It's a couple more tens. But I feel it's whatever number you want it to believe, whatever number you want it to be. Now, Springfield seemingly didn't appear to have any hard feelings about the situation. He even gave the show a few shout outs But that was his publicist. He's still seething mad that someone decided that they were a little bored. And or it's been, it's early in the morning. But there you have it, Rick Springfield telling off a Today Show host, as you do. Well, they're just like us. Chimpanzees are engaging in cheeky, trend-setting behavior, proving they're more human-like than you realize. And I'm pretty sure they're buying groceries if you go to my local Walmart store, or that's a man who hasn't shaved yet, or a Chewbacca. We haven't got it yet, so it's either Bigfoot, you know, Chewbacca, or possibly a sapien of some sort. But I will report back. There happens to be a lot of hairy men in tank tops here in, well, Nowheresville, Indiana, so it's a bit of a guessing game once in a while. Well, move over Fashion Week, the hottest accessory this season is a blade of grass shoved in your ear, or truly, for the most daring, in your behind. Now, the chimpanzees at a Zambian wildlife sanctuary are going viral, not for escaping or throwing poo, but for their bizarre behavior that's puzzling and cheeky. At the, oh, this is going to be a hate crime, Chimpanzee Wildlife Orphanage, one of the group of captive chimps, has taken to dangling grass out of their ears, a trend that researchers first spotted back in 2010. But now a second chimp clique has upped the ante by sticking the grass in their bum. Well, these trends. You start with planking, you end with eating Tide Pods. So, I mean, are we even shocked that the chimps they started with planking and now they're putting sticks of grass up their bum? That's right, a new study published on July the 4th, just in time to celebrate American, patriotism, butt grass. The journal Behavior reveals that the latest primate pastime involves wedging grass into their bums and letting it hang out like the world's worst tail. They've been watching way too much 50 Shades of Grey. The first trendsetter, astonishingly, a female chip named Julie. She kicked off the grassy ear craze over a decade, but she unfortunately passed away, and her son and a few others kept the tradition alive. Now, it wasn't until 2023 that the Butt Branch Brigade, and this is actually written by the New York Post, so don't get mad at me, but the Butt Branch Brigade bust onto the scene. Enter Juma, a male chip and apparent inventor who debuted the rear-end version of the eargrass fad. Within a week, his entire group was doing it. Now, researchers who watched the chimpanzees closely for over a year say the trend isn't about hygiene or comfort. Well, thank you, Sherlock. We didn't realize. I mean, thank you for hardy boying out that they weren't, using it as a toothbrush of the behind or, for comfort, as one does generally. Although, to listen to ER doctors, many people do claim that they do these things for comfort, so who knows? Maybe it is. In captivity, they have much more free time than in the wild, so they don't have to stay as alert or spend as much time searching for food. So with all that extra downtime and no TikTok to scroll, these chimps have been showing off their flair. I really don't think that Office Space meant this when they talked about flair, but I mean, y'all do you. Whatever your Fridays and or Chili's and or flingers will allow as flair, I say go for it. Now, it could also serve a social purpose. By copying someone else's behavior, you show that you notice and maybe even like that individual. I'm going to keep it with a thumbs up, you guys. I'm just going to stay with what has, sort of worked for me. It really does. As the Post previously reported, wild chimps in West Africa were recently caught on camera cracking open cold ones of their own. in the form of fermented African breadfruit that has been basically creating its own booze. Now, researchers from the University of Exeter spotted the buzz behavior in Guinea-Bissau's, another hate crime that I'm going to have to pronounce, Cantan Hens National Park, where the furry foragers shared the fruit, which clocked in as a light 0.61 alcohol, beverage per volume or volume per beverage. But they were all getting drunk. So these chimpanzees are basically on spring break. They are wild. They are shoving things places we don't want to talk about, and people are filming it. This is in fact Chimps Gone Wild. But they look so cute. I mean, look at this face. You couldn't imagine that in a couple years he'd be on the TikTok putting grass up his behind. But that's what happens when you have childhood fame. He was recently on Nickelodeon, so watch out. In things that, look, I don't generally give out a lot of parent advice because I'm pretty sure most parents are just trying to hang in there and get their kids to not end up on any one of my streams, Newsy News, Newsy Nuggets, or Lord Chippy. But I'm going to say possibly don't name your child after a serial unaliver. I mean, just possibly. Although if you're going to dress your baby up as a little in a devil onesie, then maybe Damien is the right name. Now, expectant parents are taking a stab at naming, quite literally. Villains, crooks, and knife-wielding nuts, although they're supposedly the bad guys of society, their first names are becoming bloody good options for moms and dads to be. Now, baby names inspired by true crime icons, such as accused con artist Anna Delvany and mass murderer Ted Bundy, are on the rise. Well, I mean, Ted's a pretty normal name. So, I mean, unless they're going like Ted Bundy Jr., I think you might be reaching just a scotch here. Now, the blood-curdling trend has less to do with wrongdoer worship and more to do with Hollywood's outlaw obsession. These names weren't chosen just because of crime. J.S. Strum, Baby Center naming expert and author, explained in a statement, more often parents are unconsciously absorbing pop culture, and these names creep into our minds via gripping TV, podcast, and viral content. I mean, yeah, because nothing says, man with a unibrow, I'm going to name my kid with that. Also, he's a mass unaliver. Okay, if you name your kid after Tiger King, we're going to chat. Also, where can I get... Anyone know where Siegfried and Roy might sell this particular jacket? Because I don't know about you, but I love it. You guys have no idea. If I were born male, I'm pretty sure I would be full on, like Richard Simmons would look straight compared to me. I'm just saying, there would be no mystery. I would wear this jacket and have a lion. See, being born a girl kept me from being the Tiger King, although I would be the Liger King because aren't they bigger? Now, nursery rhymes and true crimes killer kiddos of Generation Beta, tots born this year and beyond, can blame the theme on streams. Streaming platforms like Netflix have recently made a, literal killing off of shows, documentaries, and movies that spotlight the salacious sins of notorious rogues. Think Zac Efron as Bundy in the flick Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, Joe Exotic's story in 2022, Tiger King, and Inventing Anna. So in a number of cases, the cinematic sneak peek into the lives of the offenders have offered audiences a new perspective on the men and women behind the crimes, humanizing anti-heroes as misunderstood martyrs. No, I'm pretty sure Bundy was still a dick, and a bunch of other people. Like, they kind of unalived a bunch of people. You're not a martyr if you... Martyrs generally get unalived. Murderers tend to take other people's lives. This has been Dictionary Corner with Mo. So the top, crime-inspired names include Anna from the fake heiress, Anna Delvany, Arthur from Arthur Lee Allen, this is the Zodiac speaking, Bella, by wellness scammer Bella Gibson, Aaron Patterson, the mushroom. These are just regular names. Y'all are reaching like I'm a not flexible person, but I mean, y'all are reaching beyond the extent of Gumby. Mo in the deep end. I have to go pick up a little BTK at school. Freddie and Rose. I mean, yeah, well, Fred and Rose West are awful. And if you do actually name your kids after them, gross, but they're also fairly traditional, normal names. Joe from Joe Exotic, Luca from the documentary Don't Fuck with Cats, Teddy, a nickname inspired by serial killer Ted Bundy, Ruby from the documentary Evil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Frankie, and Ronnie and Reggie as notorious London gangsters, the Cray twins. I mean, no. I mean, that being said, we left off Travis for Travis Bickle, and let's see, Joe from John from John Doe from Seven. I mean, but still, I do need to find this jacket and possibly crochet myself a life-size tiger. Don't tell no one, but I have my Halloween costume right now. Well, if you've ever wondered what happens to all the crap that people lose at Disney World, wonder no longer, because they actually sell it back to you. Spoiler alert, Disney fans lose tons of sunglasses, and some devotees are willing to make the trek to buy them up in bulk for a bargain. Now, the U.S. parks, California's Disneyland, and Orlando's iconic Walt Disney World welcome thousands of guests each day, but without fail, portable chargers, miniature plushies, themed souvenir cups all make their way into the park's bustling lost and found centers. Now, while the park strives to return all of the items to their original owners, and they even ship identifiable items back to their proper place free of charge, the volume of missing things is often too much to handle. For many park goers, the headache of submitting a report also isn't worth, the time or energy for the return of their $5, sunglasses. Now, after 3 months, the parks will donate the bulk of lost and found stocks to local charities and secondhand shops. Disneyland, in partnership with Goodwill of Orange County Marketplace, also hosts an annual sale near the park, and lucky SoCal residents are often privy to massive discounts. Most Disney devotees, like Magical Soul Foodie on TikTok, again, look, I am not shaming you if you like Disneyland as an adult. I like Sailor Moon as an adult. I guess the inside cat part of me just wants to ask, why do you like it? Because it has the trifecta of things Mo doesn't want to do. It's too hot, too expensive. Let's see, there are people there. I love that I'm trying to count in like a weird way I've never tried before and trying to figure out how my hands work. Okay, it's too hot. It's too expensive. There are people there. I don't particularly go on rides, and there are weird furries trying to touch you. So honestly, those are the trifecta of things Mo doesn't like, and they're all particularly located at Disney World. So I guess my question is, if you don't have children and you go to Disney World, why? And I'm being completely honest here, because it's like me signing up for the Iron Ultraman Marathon. Things that will never happen for 500 Alex. But I just genuinely, because I don't understand the appeal. I have tried to think about it objectively, and I'm like, just no. Now you can spend between $3 to $5 per item at this sale, which typically happens in August. But premium items like wagons and other like strollers and things like that can go for about $20. Now, many fans also brave lines and pack parking lots for sunglasses. Bargains on branded shades abound at the event, and a pair of coveted Ray-Ban or Prada glasses can set shoppers back just $1. You know, I would go to the sale, although are Prada sunglasses made out of gold or something? I still don't get. I get it's a name brand and all that, but I'm okay with great value glasses mostly because I lose them. I, knowing my luck, the first time I had a pair of like Prada or even Prado, like knockoff glasses, I'd lose them. I'd be able to find the $1 cheapies that I bought at Goodwill for like 900 years, but the one Prados I'd lose. Now, a user attended the 2023 Santa Ana sale and came back with a custom backpack. After they bought it that summer, a friend posted a photo on Instagram featuring them with a backpack and was quickly, she was contacted by a random woman, and the woman asked to buy it off the user and paid pretty well. Now, the commenter parted with the backpack and said they found out that it belonged to the woman's recently deceased daughter. So, they have found several stranger items, though, like loaned champagne glasses, paper towel holders, and adult-sized sneakers. Yeah, no. Now, Epcot I could do because it has booze, and you can pretend like it's a European tour. It's a global tour of food, and that's the kind of touring I like to do. I swear, that's why I really can't go to Japan, because I would eat everything, and I don't even think the national budget is big enough for the amount of debt that I would accrue at the Sailor Moon store. That being said, if I win the lottery, there will be signs. I mean, I'm not going to speak about it, but if I come in with a fully customized Sailor Moon outfit, I think the jig will be up. That being said, let's hope if I ever go to Japan, I'm just not thrown into jail, because this mouth and my face, pretty sure I'm going to get arrested wherever I go. In the story that will break me, but I saw the headline and it's Friday, so I'm going to try to get through this without giggle snorting like a fiend. Don't stop personal handular self-love. It'll make you depressed, stressed out. A new study says. Who was the genius that was at Johns Hopkins and like, hey, you want to see if whacking off or not whacking off will make you mad? Well, just beat it. This is from the New York Post. That wasn't my words. A new study seems to confirm what most of us already knew deep down in our throbbing nether regions. Pleasing oneself is a boon for the body and mind. Sure. I mean, no duh. And that denying yourself that, while it could cure blindness and make sure you don't have to shave your palm, it's bad in many other ways. Of course, the survey was commissioned by the makers of a popular vibrator. The magic wand. Apparently, if you take that to Universal, you will not be able to do Avada Kedavras, though. They will frown upon that, so keep your magic wands at home if you want to go to Universal. Trailer Moon. Oh my God, no, that's my Halloween. I'm making Trailer Moon. It's happening. She's going to have a six-pack, her bra showing, and she doesn't really care what you think about her, Earlene, because she is classy, all right? But the statistics seem to be real regardless of who commissioned the study. Now, citing a shift toward sexual wellness with a general understanding that use of marital aids and other battery-operated, pleasure devices have a positive impact. A representative for the makers of the personal aid said in a written statement that the company's goal was to collect scientific data to show real-life impact of self-love. Sir, you look rather grumpy. Have you choked one out lately? Is that the problem? Where do we get these surveys? Now, the study gently tapped 1,000 women. You would no hell they did not. 1,000 women or participants with vulvas. I would rather be called a woman than a participant with a vulva. Just gonna speak out for us ladies here. And they were given a magic wand, and were asked to track the quality of their life over a 3-week period. Now, the guinea pigs were instructed to adhere to at least 1 week of abstinence. Well, if they're married, that should be fairly easy. I'm just kidding. That should not be the case. Then 1 week of daily magic wand use. Those with partners were invited to incorporate the tool into their play. However, they were warned that their sons would try to use them as lightsabers and to check their backpacks on show and tell day, because that's a call you never want from your, child's teacher. Hello, Miss Mo. Your son brought something rather interesting in for for show and tell. Now, he did get a W point because it was a wand, but he didn't realize it wasn't a Harry Potter wand. It's rather girthy if you could get in here. Now, across the board, the week without pleasure reportedly triggered a drop in all quality of life measures, including happiness, body image, confidence, and relationship connections. Now, worst all, it just increased stress. Well, I mean, they had a graph. They made a graph. I can't with my life. They were accidentally trying to be Scientologists about this. Oh, yes, having an O feels good. I'm glad that you all could be here with me for this public service announcement. Having pleasure feels good. They made a line graph. Now, an O a day apparently seems to keep the doctor away. Now, using the wand every day for a week increased the quality of life all round. Well, it swings and roundabouts, doesn't it? Happiness, body image, confidence, and sleep were all improved while stress was decreased. When thinking about the state of the world and stress and anxiety crisis that we're living through, we think that O's will help us all stay grounded. Because that's what I usually say after an O, not, I'm just going to go take a nap. Can you make me a sandwich? But there you are. One participant said, using the wand helped me manage daily stress. People were a little confused at the office as I was using it on my neck, but it is multifunctional. It was an excuse to step away from my computer and connect with myself. Oddly enough, both her computer and her ability to connect with herself are brought to you by charging cords with a C-USB plug-in. So there you go. Oh my God, I'm rebranding it. Yamaha Biker. Please don't let the primates see this. She wasn't. I was joking about, because they call them personal massagers, but I always just imagine women taking big old Dylans, is what I used to call them, and like rubbing them across their neck to try to say, no, I'm relieving stress. It's not a Dylan. That being said, now the real, rumble in the jungle is week 3, where participants went back to, their normal sex with other people and not just by themselves as normal. But the benefits still lingered, although many of their good feelings began to fade. Apparently, partner connection dropped, faster than a flaccid one. It's not that usual sex is bad, it just couldn't match the consistency, intensity, or intentionality of daily, well, self-help exercises. Now, experts hopes that this research dispel the common misconception that these type of kinky products are bad for relationships. No, no, pretty much week 3 when you invited another human, corporeal human, into the whole thing, everything seemed to go down again. So now, just like, turns out that the patient or the participants didn't really even need to owe to feel the benefits to their brain. So men, keep trying out there. One day you'll be better than a man that we plug in and put back into our drawers. What in the hell is this? Oh, wait a minute. We have a testimonial. The difference in my emotional regulation and disassociation between like the abstinence week and the sex toy week was huge. I suspected a connection before this study, but a week without any sexual activity was way, way worse for emotional regulation and disassociation and depression symptoms. So the Victorians had it right. Us women just need an O, and then we're not hysterical no mo. In fact, she went on to gush that two big O's felt, and she felt like she was back to her usual self, describing herself as happy, focused, emotionally regulated, and excited about things with less anxiousness and rumination. So I wonder what she'd do at 3. Would she just rule the world? Hillary Clinton, I see you. She's like, after 4, I can be Kim Jong-un. They also became more interested in school and homework. I can't. I have no words. In a story that's bound to curb all of those attractive feelings that you have flowing through your body right now, the Bachelor alum Becca Martinez is continuing to defend going 7 years without shaving. Hair is normal on a woman's body. Let me circle back. That might have been a female Chewbacca I saw at my store. We'll get back to you on that. They are. And thank you, Robert James. The best part about a hooker is passing on your time. The second hour is free. Robert James, thank you. Well, it's everyone's working for the weekend. Bachelor alum Becca Martinez is getting candid about, well, her body hair in a things that make you go, In a July 8th Instagram post, the former reality television star defended her decision to go 7 years without shaving in response to a mean-spirited comment from Instagram. Your face doesn't jive with your hairy legs. Gray, Martinez's fiance, Grayston Leonard must be grossed out, one user wrote in a direct message. Oh my God, what the hell is... No! Holy Lance Armstrong, what are those legs? Oh my God, that is just horrifying. I love that I'm having such a reaction, but come on. Look, I am crippled and can barely move my leg, and I still try to shave the sides I can get to for Mr. Mo. I mean, granted, I miss patches, but still. Holy, what in the Chewbacca gone wrong is this crap? Now, in response, Martinez, who previously appeared on season 22 of The Bachelor, where Ari Lyondike Jr. was the star, discussed the uncomfortable moment in her childhood that led her working on her relationship with her body hair. You're not supposed to have a relationship with your body hair. You shave it. It's not a friend. This isn't Bob's Burgers. You aren't Tina. The little hairs on your leg did not cry like they were in Terminator 2. What is going on here? I started stinking my mom's razor in the 3rd grade. I remember praying to God that he remove all the hair from my neck and, downward. Family, friends, even teachers and coaches would gently tease about the jet black leg stubble that was growing out. It seemed harmless, but continued to reinforce that my body's hair was wrong. Yes. Look, some shame is right. Now, Martinez explained that the decision to stop shaving came when she was pregnant with her first child. Oh, your husband. I feel so sorry for him. He got sold a bill of goods that just was not real. He assumed that she was going to continue to shave her legs. She wanted to give her children a body positive message. I wanted my daughters and future sons to see their hair and the hair on a woman's body as normal, not shameful, not gross. I wanted to demonstrate that body hair is not masculine because I'm a woman. Again, I'd like to go back to Lance Armstrong from this down, or that one guy on the Cooking Network who used to wear orange Crocs, although she's a mite bit skinnier than he was. Now, the Becca and Friends podcaster noted that I wanted to consciously work through like the disgust that I had with my natural body. And while she doesn't love her body hair, she does wash and condition it every 3rd day. Dry shampoo for when she's feeling, spritzy. I'm joking about that. I don't think she washes it. The feelings has so much less power over me than it used to. If I could be sponsored by a razor company at any point, thank you. Now, in a caption on the post, Martinez added, and for the record, Gary went to like a liberal arts college in Oregon, so he's had his share, his share of less than shaved Chewbacca women. Now, I'm from the Midwest, and like, look, I get it. Like, winter comes, you don't want to deal with shaving. Those sparse little hairs might give you like 5 extra seconds of warmth. And let's be honest, it's Indiana in the Midwest. So, maybe you stop shaving, but you don't grow an entire ghillie suit on your legs. This is wrong. It should be stopped. Another user added that no one should care about this at all. You're a beautiful woman and an inspiration to me. Well, I have not been inspired. I have been grossed out. Thank you for helping me on my diet, Becca. And responsible in part for Mo's continued, slenderization, this chick's legs. We salute you. Irony that would, in fact, be ironic, Alanis Morissette. All of your song lyrics were about cases of unfortunates, not irony. But this is actually ironic in the true literary sense. A Denver museum found a dinosaur bone in its parking lot. They did not call it a Bonosaurus, or a Parkosaurus, which I think they should. Denver Museum of Natural Sciences already houses a vast treasure trove of dinosaur bones, but it recently received an unexpected addition to its collection. The latest fossil didn't come from some generous benefactor or anonymous donor. It came from beneath the museum's own parking lot. The last place that the dinosaurs thought they would look. This might be the most unusual dinosaur discovery I've ever been a part of. DMNS's Director of Earth Space Sciences, Patrick O'Connor, said in a statement. Now, the find happened in January when the museum began a drilling project to assess the possibility of switching from natural gas to geothermal energy. Now, the test also offered an opportunity for researchers to simultaneously oversee a scientific coring initiative to better understand the Denver Basin's geology. To do so, a pair of drill rigs each bored down a 1-foot wide hole into the ground so that the team could use it to extract samples. But at about 767 feet down, geologists found more than sediments deposited by the South Platte River. They discovered a pair of bone fragments. Well, I mean, I'm glad y'all are Scientologists because that just looks like a rock to me. It's basically like winning the lottery and getting struck by lightning on the same day. Curator of genealogy James Hagedorn said in an interview, no one would have predicted that this little square foot of land we started drilling into would actually contain a dinosaur bone. Now, the larger of the two fossils unfortunately didn't survive its encounter with the digger's drill bit, but before fragmenting, the bone measured about 1.9 inches long and 2.3 inches wide, which is why women are buying those magic wands. But ching, just kidding. I've been reliably told that the average is this big. I have bad spatial awareness, so six inches could be this or this. I don't know. Now, subsequent analysis published in the Journal of Rocky Mountain Geology indicated that the vertebra belonged to an herbivore similar to some kind of a Mosasaurus, to either a Thessalisiosaurus or an Edmontonsaurus. I mean, as of course we all know what an Edmontonsaurus looks like, a very dapper English man who says how you do, but it's a T-Rex with short little arms. Now, at about 67.5 million years old, it is one of the oldest and deepest fossils ever found in Denver, offering a window into the region right before the Cretaceous tertiary mass extinction event. So there you go. It could have been a T-Rex, but it was just an omnivore, and they found it. Or it's a coprolite. I mean, that's what I thought. I thought it was dinosaur poo. I needed a moment before moving on to the next story. I will try, well, I do put on Twitter kind of what I'm putting out, but part of Friday Fun Day is that you are shocked with the weird that I find. But I will try to put an agenda out. Now, in something that shocks no one, and I am going to use some cursey words, so I will try to. I Am Legend writer recalls people walking out of theaters in droves during the dog death scene. Yes, MFer, because no one wants to see a doggo die, unless it is accompanied by John Wick kicking ass, then finding like rescue dogs and hanging out with Halle Berry, still kicking ass with dogs. I don't know who need to hear this, but yeah, most people don't want to see, any doggos die. And given Will Smith's past behavior this year, we would have been okay with the dog being the final survivor of the movie. Now, writer Akiva Goldsman said has had a career full of highs, including winning an Oscar for his script in 2002's A Beautiful Mind, or the success of 2005's Cinderella Man, but I Am Legend was less well received. One part of it was really, in fact, quite loathed. He remembers people walking out of theaters during a scene in the 2007 film in which one of the main characters, the best character, the doggo, happens to be put down because it was becoming infected. But again, I say dog takes out Will Smith, dog ends the movie, becomes super smart, he mutates into a smart dog, best movie ever. I Am Legend never tested well because we killed Sam, and people walk out when a dog dies. Goldman told, the Hollywood Reporter, and I get it. I love dogs. Never more walkouts in anything I've done than when that dog died. Again, no crap. The 2007 Will Smith movie is about a sole survivor of a human plague. Now everyone else is either dead or infected with a virus that has turned them into monsters. Now, Smith's character, Robert Neville, is just as alone as he is in his marriage with Jada Pinkett Smith. Smith in real life doesn't even have a dog. That's just kind of sad. That being said, everyone left when the dog died because, yes, no one likes to see dead dogs. It's kind of like, Old Yeller and Phoebe not knowing that it ended with, the death of Old Yeller. That being said, he does get it. He's just like, I get it. Well, no duh. Again, if it's not connected to John Wick kicking ass and taking names because someone hurt his puppy, then we don't want to see it. Also, John Wick then gets new dogs. I love that John Wick is the only, like, action-y trilogy that I've sort of watched all the way through, and I'm still confused about most of it because I'm like, oh, they took his dog? And then I'm like, kill. Mr. Mo was shocked because normally I am like one like this when they do like the action scenes because I'm not into gore. I was over here like, kill that MFer and kill him and kill him. I got bloodthirsty when John Wick came on. He said he's never been more attracted and scared of me in his entire life. It was an achievement. And for YouTube watching, I was talking about John Wick. Give me a break. That being said, he has never been more scare-roused in his life. Now, in things that I guess I should care about because I'm a girl, but really can't be bothered. Also, I don't have this money to just, throw around for a bag that doesn't even give me a magic wand effect. Jane Birkin's original Hermes bag has sold at auction for a whopping 8.6 million euros. Now, sketched out on an air sickness bag, the first Birkin bag, a prototype for fashion's must-have accessory, sold for a staggering 8.6 million euros or $10.1 billion. Now, that is including fees on Thursday in Paris to become the second most valuable fashion item ever sold at auction. Is Liberace's cape the first or his piano? Now, the winning bid of 7 million euros drew gasps and applause from the audience. The price crushed the previous auction record handbag of $513,040 paid in 2021 for an Hermes white Himalaya Nilotis crocodile diamond 10-row. Do what now? A Kelly 28? Is this a language? Am I speaking English? What do these words mean? I have no idea what this bag is. Y'all have seen my bags. And then I've got my Dollywood one. Now, Mr. Mo, I think I would have... Mr. Mo is horrified that I spend hundreds of dollars. But I don't get Michael Kors bags. I don't get Vera Bradley bags. And I certainly don't get Birkin bags. I guess if you want to spend more than, a house payment on a car or on a purse, have at it. But if it doesn't tell you the weather, hold your boobs up or give you a six-pack, I can't figure out the desire. Now, there you go. So if you have, 9 mil just in euros, you can buy it back. I mean, if you should so choose. I mean, it looks like something my gran would wear or use. And it's all beat up. It's not even in mint condition. Did they do a Kelly Blue Book on it? Did they get a Carfax on this bag? To be fair, you need Carfax on my bags because they have had, a multitudinous of stain accidents, mostly me forgetting to put caps back on my pen. But there you go. Oh, it's iconic. Ooh, what kind of jelly? I love I think we need to make some jelly. My kids love when we made jam. You can get a Broken Baker bag for half that price. And it does give you boobs and a six-pack. Allegedly, doctorologists all agree, and all of the experts used in Canton all agree, for a right price. In happy viral news, viral pygmy hippo Mu Deng celebrates her first birthday. Aww. Look at the cute. I would so steal her. This is the problem. Mr. Mo would be like, what is that? And I'd be like, it's a hairless cat that looks kind of like a hippo. I'd be like, it's Fluffy, the hairless cat. He's like, why does it look like a hippo? I was like, well, have you checked your eyes? You are getting old. Mu Deng, the pygmy hippo who took the internet by storm, just celebrated her first birthday Thursday at the Khao Kano Open Zoo in Thailand. Now, the zoo said Mu Deng, who became one of the top TikTok trends of 2024, is being treated to a 4-day celebration, including a 44-pound cake. May you be healthy and bouncy for a long time. Well, I can tell you that healthy and bouncy after a 44-pound cake might not happen for Mo, but all the power to you, Mo Deng. Now, the name Mo Deng literally means bouncy pig. The hippo's birthday was celebrated by fans who traveled from all around the world to visit her for her birthday. She's an icon and everyone in the world loves her. Molly Swindle, a self-described mooniac who traveled to Thailand from New York, told NBC News, "It's fun to see she's your same old self and fame hasn't changed her." Now, Swindle said it was her third time traveling to Thailand to see Mu Deng. Sure. I'm sure you only went to see Mu Deng. I love Mu Deng so much, she said. I think she brought so much joy to people when there was a lot of toughness and still a lot of tough things going on in the world. Mu Deng was too busy eating her cake to worry about her fame. You know, this story might actually break me. A Pittsburgh group is bringing back Balls Out Bowling, a nude bowling event, because nothing is more worrisome than those rented shoes. So just go nude. Or did they wear the shoes? Oh, yeah, they do wear the shoes. So is it fully balls out, bowling if you are wearing shoes? A Pennsylvania naturism, read Nudism group has announced the return, the Bad Moon Rising, Balls Out Bowling annual bowling event where clothing is not allowed. Please tell me there's like at least wet wipes or like towels you put on the seats. Also, like, you know how like nachos, if you eat them, sometimes lands on your boobs? Like, are we going to get third-degree nacho cheese boob burns here? Because I feel like as a safety-conscious person, that would happen. Not to mention, I'm just going to throw it out there for all of you. Again, another public service announcement. But these are probably not the boobs and or balls that you want to see. It's Pittsburgh people, y'all. Which I can imagine are like the Midwest, Indiana people. We're a hardy folk, but we're not always aesthetically pleasing without our clothes on. But we don't get cold in the winter that much because of layering and high fructose corn syrup. So, it has its benefits being fluffy. But this is probably not the place to go to meet Claudia Schiffer. Now, admission to the event is $30, which includes 4 hours of unlimited bowling and ball gazing. I mean, bowling. The group said that clothing is allowed for the only clothing allowed for attendees are shoes, and optional bottoms for the women. Now, of anything on a woman that's gonna mess up bowling, I'm guessing it's the floppy bits up top that are gonna get in the way, but call me crazy. Oh, you do bring a towel. Okay, so they're not sitting, they're not raw dogging the seats, because that's what I was worried about. I mean, that poor little attendant who's like, got to spray Lysol on the shoes and the seats now. Now, the group said that all participants must be 18 years old and all genders, sexualities, and body types are welcome. You're going to see a lot of people emerge from the basements to see an actual live naked woman, and it's going to be a sausage fest. I'm there. Now, no photos or videos are allowed at the event. Sexual activity is not permitted. Nudism does not equal consent, and harassment will not be taken lightly. What about giggling? What about giggling and pointing? Asking for a friend. But apparently, yes, if you'd like to if you'd like to balls out bowl, Pennsylvania is your stop, and it's $30. Shoes must be worn, and bottoms optional for women, as you do. Now, in a happy and beautiful world where I don't have revenge for deers, I decided to include this story despite my, pendulous and contentious relationship with deer. But a Florida lifeguard has rescued a struggling deer from the Atlantic Ocean. And look, they got it out. Let's see if this will play. No, I don't. I just want to see the caught on camera part. Oh, hell no. We are going right. What in the 1910s bathing party is this? Okay, hipsters, stop buying pomade. Although that was the exact mustache that I wanted as a child. As a 5-year-old, it was my deepest, like soul deep wish to have the little Yosemite Sam mustache. So when I did something evil, I could cackle and go, and, twirl my mustache. Now, what I seem to have gotten from my Timu genie is 4 goatee hairs that pop up at random when I'm out places and without my tweezers. So instead of a wonderful handlebar mustache that could have made me the hit on TikTok and, oh gosh, The Greatest Showman, no, I get 4 goatee hairs that grow out, whenever the hell they want, but usually when I'm out somewhere and I find them. So thank you, Timu genie. Lifeguards at a Florida beach rescued an unusual struggling swimmer from the Atlantic Ocean, a white-tailed deer. Now, Flagler Beach senior lifeguard Chase Hunter, that is a prawn name if you ask me, or like an action book name, like I'm Hunter, Chase Hunter, or something you would put as your handle at 12 on like Halo. And first-year lifeguards Leo Peters rushed into the water on Sunday when the deer was spotted struggling in rough waters during a heavy rainstorm. Now, he was able to pull the deer onto a rescue board and, assisted by a Flagler Beach firefighter, return the animal safely to shore. I was just holding on to the deer as hard as I could, Hunter told WOFL-TV. It was fighting and heavy, and I'm tired. Everyone's tired, but in my mind, I'm telling myself we're getting this deer one way or another. Now, it's unclear how long the deer had been in the water or how it got in there. The deer was able to walk and released back into the wild a short distance from the beach. Flagler Fire Rescue Chief Stephen Cox said it was the first time in his 15 years of service that he'd ever heard of a deer being rescued from the ocean. So there you go. Again, things that you won't have to worry if I win the lottery that I'm going to spend my money on. World's most expensive cheese sells for $42,232. I mean, it doesn't look good. It looks like it's molded all the way through. A Cabreles cheese aged in a cave for 10 months received top marks in a competition in Spain and earned a Guinness World Record when it was auctioned for $42,223. Now, the cheese, created by Angel Diaz Herrero Cheese Factory, was sold by the Regulatory Council DOP Cabreles in Asturias, Spain, and purchased by restaurant El Lagar del Coto. Now, Guinness World Records declared that the dairy delicacy was the most expensive cheese sold at auction. Now the cheese hit the auction block at the Regulatory Council DOP, auction, and they named it Mejoro Queso del Carmente, or best cheese of the competition. See, and I thought that it was going to be best cheese of Cartman. The cheese weighed almost 5 pounds and was made with a cow's milk and aged in a cave. And it looks like it's moldy. Congratulations, expensive cheese buyers. May the odds be ever in your favor and botulism not prevalent. And or at least you've got penicillin somewhere. Do what, Sweden? Get in here. Nick, I need you to get in here and explain this. What is going on? Look, I've already dealt with your absolutely ununderstandable architecture in your stores as far as exit and entrance routes. I've already dealt with that, but coffee cheese, you must be stopped. First it was ABBA, then it was IKEA, now it's this crap. Kefiost, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that very wrong, is Sweden's unique cheese-infused coffee. You know, I might be with Baker on this one. No, just no. There's nothing strange about adding a bit of milk or cream to a cup of coffee, but in northern Sweden, they prefer a different kind of dairy with their coffee, cheese. Okie dokie. No. Now, it's a combination of hot coffee and a particular type of cheese called, oh, yeah, we're just going to call it coffee cheese because it's pronounced it's spelled Leip, fancy A with 2 dots on top, Juusto. Now, it loosely translates to bread cheese, but there's no bread involved in this unusual combination, just cheese and coffee. The name most likely comes from the cheese absorbent quality, which allows it to take on a surprising amount of coffee flavor after soaking for just a few minutes. The spongy texture might not be for everyone, but the taste can be more than worth it. It's noticeably sweeter than your average block of cheddar, so just adding a few pieces to your cup of coffee is similar to adding cream, milk, or sugar to it. No. Again, no. Now, consuming this type of coffee has deep cultural roots among the reindeer herders of northern Sweden and Finland. It is said that the semi-nomadic Sami people discovered the delicious combination of coffee and cheese during their travels, and they noted that it helped solve their sodium deficiency problems, while hot coffee kept them warm and gave them an energy boost. Yeah, this is why do you see what Frozen brought us to? Now we're having cheese coffee. Let it go. Let it go. I can't hold it back anymore. Just say no. Disney, I'm available for Frozen 3. I would like to have the powers of, well, sarcasm and bitchiness, but as a Disney princess. So I basically tell people the truth, but everyone thinks I'm funny, but I'm really just being mean. And go. I would have liked to been a fly on the wall when the man tried to explain this one to the ER doctor. Doctors find a live eel swimming in a man's abdominal cavity, as you do. This is what happens when you drink, the sea monkey water. This is what happens. You get those sea monkeys, and then kids get all excited, and then they drink the water, and this is what happens. Yesterday, in a Chinese newspaper called Huaya Daily, they reported an unusual case of a Hunan man who showed up at the first affiliated hospital of Hunan Medical University with a pale face, sweating profusely, and complaining of stomach pain. Now, a CT scan of the man's abdomen showed a foreign object that seemed to have pierced his stomach and ended up in his abdominal cavity. Now, his abdomen was already hard as a board, fearing potential fatal perito on. So basically, you have a layer of fat kind of surrounding your internal organs, and you have a kind of layer on top of that that kind of keeps all your abdominal organs from floating around. Or maybe it's vice versa. Look, I'm not a doctor, but basically they were worried about him bleeding out into his abdominal cavity. Turned out, during the operations, doctors found that an eel had completely drilled through an intestinal wall and was now just swimming around in an abdominal cavity, which was at risk of becoming infected. Now, using a clamp-like instrument, or the claw, a surgeon managed to grab and remove the eel, then sutured the hole in the sigmoid colon and flushed the abdominal cavity with saline solution to minimize the risk of... Oh, and Palmer Archer Homestead, sorry. I was going to lurk today, but I'm thinking the poor thing got caught in a riptide. Oh, the handlebar without pomade is a baby Fu Manchu. Ooh, I like that one. Like I said, it was 5-year-old Mo's greatest wish that I would have a very distinct handlebar mustache. In fact, I might have asked Santa for it that year. I'll have to check with my mom. But I remember that my mom was distinctly horrified, and she was like, "Why do you want a mustache?" And I was like, "So when I'm evil, people will know." And I didn't say rebel because I was 5, but I was like, because then I can twist my mustache and laugh when I'm bad. I didn't realize I would be giving myself away with future criming if I laughed every time I did something bad. I was 5, and I wanted a mustache, and Santa didn't give it anything to me, except for these stupid chin hairs that grow out when I can't figure them out. Like I can't rip them out because I'm at Walmart, and if I continue to do this, people are going to notice them. Now, we're trying to figure out what happened. There is no word on what happened to the eel, but the man recovered well and was discharged from the hospital. Now, the eel is a lurking aquatic animal that is accustomed to living in environments with a silt bottom, such as paddy fields, lakes, ponds, streams, and canals. It's known to dig holes in relatively soft soil, so it can easily pierce through a human intestine. Though medical experts involved in this case did not discuss how the eel got into the man's colon, it wasn't difficult for people to possibly deduce maybe. Now, just for reference, in case you think it maybe went top down, the sigmoid colon is sort of the last little bit before the out bit. So it was a Lemmy-Winks sort of situation, if you catch my drift. Only he didn't burrow his way to the top, he just burrowed through the side. Interestingly, these cases are not as rare as you would think. There have been at least 4 in the last year or so, as happens. Yeah, follow the chimps, use grass. He didn't swallow it, Jen. The eel would have died in the stomach acids. The eel slithered through a different orifice, if you will. In the best story ever of romantic love that I have ever read in my entire life, depending on if he lived afterward, a man forgives his wife at a gas station only to realize 300 kilometers later. She was so quiet during that part of the ride, he thought she was asleep, I'm sure. On July 5th, a Paris man left for vacation to Morocco with his wife and daughter in the family car. Now, they made several stops at gas stations along the way, but during one of those breaks, something peculiar happened. Around 4:30 in the morning, the man, whose name has not been revealed by the media due to his possibly being concussed, he left the gas station without realizing he'd forgotten his wife. He realized the mistake about 186 miles later and quickly called emergency services for help. It was a very bizarre conversation, as the man not only had to explain how he could have forgotten his wife at a gas station, but also he had trouble remembering which gas station he actually left her at. We received this rather confusing call around 8:30 a.m. The gendarme in France's Lardèze region told France 3. The man no longer knew where he had stopped or when. The gentleman mentioned he had a break near Orleans and they contacted members in Orleans to have them check the local gas stations. Now, interestingly, the couple's 22-year-old daughter was in the car the entire time, but she couldn't offer much assistance to the police because she'd been sleeping and had no idea where her father had forgotten their mother. Despite checking multiple rest areas along the motorway, police didn't find the missing woman, which only made the situation more tense, because they'd begun to suspect that the 62-year-old man had forgotten the woman on purpose. This is a snapped episode I can't wait to see. Our trials in France streamed. Also, how long would it take me to learn French? Not goodly, but just so I could translate it. Also, so I could say hon hon hon, culturally. Luckily, this strange story has a happy ending. The police were able to locate the missing woman with the help of a mobile network operator tracking her phone. She was at a motor serviceway station in Duxfers, about 300 kilometers away from her husband, and where, he said he had left her. The woman hadn't moved since 4:30 a.m. and was waiting for her family to return. Following a short investigation, police concluded that the Parisian man had genuinely forgotten his wife. So after reuniting the family, they were all stuck in a car to drive to Morocco. Oh, the conversations. The conversations that happened there. Now in an update to a very serious story that we have covered in the past. A nurse has copped a deal over cheesy nacho battery. Ma'am, where are your eyebrows? A Florida woman arrested for shoving cheesy nachos down her wife's leggings during a 3 a.m. domestic violence confrontation has pled no contest to battery and been sentenced to complete a 29-week batterer's intervention program, according to court documents. Now, during a change of plea hearing earlier this month, Allison Swan agreed to withdraw her previously not guilty plea that she had given and enter a DV diversion program that, if successful, can result in her being safe to go into, concession stands at a baseball game again. Now, seen at the right, Swan, a 39-year-old nurse, was also ordered to pay $875 in court costs. Now, a judge has barred Swan from having any contact with the 40-year-old victim, whom Swan filed for divorce from a week after her May 3rd arrest. The defendant is also prohibited from possessing firearms, ammunition, controlled substances, or nacho cheese. Spray cheese is on a need-to-know basis. She will ask her parole officer if she can have squeezy cheese. Now, police say Swan's wife, or ex-wife, who was also a nurse, was making nachos with nacho cheese in the kitchen around 3 a.m. when Swan told her she shouldn't be eating this late and made a comment about her weight and her mother. Those just never end back. Well, those never end well, do they? During the argument that followed, Swan approached her wife, grabbed a handful of the cheesy nachos, and shoved them down the back of her pants. She also allegedly put hands on the victim's head and bashed it into the floor. So it wasn't only the nachos. She has to stay away. She has to stay away from flooring too. Officers responded to the couple's Port St. Lucie residence, and they spotted 2 yellow smears resembling nacho cheese on the wall. They really had to CSI this. Flux, I have no idea. But, I do stuff in a hetero relationship, like ask my husband, trick questions that he can't answer. So I say we're all a little crazy. I don't know. But there you go. She's going to classes and she will be safe with nacho cheese in a while. It's never the two you want to see, but a naked duo was seen having, the sexy time in a stolen RV. Yep, it's just never the duo you think it's going to be. It's never, Bonnie and Clyde. It's always Cletus and Ray Ray or Rayanne. A West Virginia couple was naked and having smecks in a stolen RV. West Virginia stereotypes being upheld in abundance. When a cop pulled the moving vehicle over after spotting the driver being straddled by his intoxicated female passenger. What in the Super Troopers is going on here? During the traffic stop last Wednesday afternoon in Bluefield, an Appalachian Mountain city, a patrol person approached the RV and found Shannon Bryant, 35, sitting behind the wheel. A passerby yelled that the occupants had switched seats before I made contact with them, stated Officer H.L. Ham, who added that Matthew McDonald, 48, was in the passenger seat. Now, I inquired about their actions while the vehicle was in motion, Ham reported, to which Miss Bryant candidly responded, "We were effin'." Well, an honest woman. Bryant, who appeared to be highly intoxicated, and McDonald were ordered out of the RV. Now, after being read his rights, McDonald reportedly admitted that he and Bryant were naked and attempting to engage in sexual activity while driving, and that they had switched seats upon spotting the squad car. A subsequent search of the vehicle turned up drug paraphernalia, a bag containing white powdery substance, donuts. Investigators recovered painkillers and a broken glass pipe in the area where she told police that McDonald had thrown the drugs from the vehicle during the traffic stop. Now, a vehicle check revealed that the RV had been stolen from Princeton, a city nearby. They were arrested, if you can believe it, for indecent exposure, drug possession, DUI, possession of a stolen vehicle. Now, both defendants have pled not guilty, and if you could believe it, they have extensive criminal records and haven't been able to post bond. I mean, you don't have to tell me this man is high. His eyelids do. He looks like Jimmy Brewer doing, well, he looks like he's just Jimmy Brewer. They don't want it back now. They'd like it burned with holy fire. I swear I'm getting a bag of confectioner sugar and carrying it around. Telling you. It's the way to go. A stabbing victim's secret stash was stumbled upon during surgery. Well, I mean, his life hasn't... All I hear is, "Can I have some biscuits and mustard?" I'm hearing Sling Blade in my head. "I like biscuits. Yup, biscuits. Mustard." A Florida man. Are we? You know what? This I think calls for Final Form Jesus. We just haven't had enough songs today.
The key keep its grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, Final Form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack glistening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
I mean, how could I not? Now, a Florida man who police believe had been stabbed in a drug dispute was in surgery when a nurse discovered a glass pipe, lighter, and tin foil containing cocaine in his prison wallet. The surprising find, I mean, are we really shocked that a man who could be a professional criminal or a man with an extensive criminal career had anything in his prison wallet? The surprising find occurred earlier this month at St. Petersburg Bayfront Hospital, where Michael O'Neill, 43, had been transported for a knife wound. While in surgery, an RN located all these stashed items. An arrest affidavit states. Now, after being hospitalized for his injuries, O'Neill, pictured to the right, was booked into jail Friday for cocaine possession, a felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, a misdemeanor. O'Neill was released yesterday from custody after posting $5,500 in bond from his actual wallet, I'm hoping. Over the last few years, shockingly, O'Neill has been convicted of a DUI and numerous drug-related counts, including possession of, well, just about every drug you can imagine. Now, he pled guilty last year to possession after a jail strip search turned up two baggies containing F and rocks hidden in his buttocks, as you do. 'Cause why wouldn't you? And now it is the time of the week where we waste time, as we always do. We match our Superman theme arrestees to the crimes they've committed. So we have method acting crystals possession, driving while intoxicated, corporal injury of a spouse or cohabitant, or corporeal, sorry. No, corporal, not corporeal. That wrong one. Stealing and making terroristic threats. Oh, they all look so potentially guilty of everything. Now, I have told you guys this, but I profile women on their eyebrows, and I'm going to go ahead and say those eyebrows being not what God gave her and painted on, crazy, and we don't mess with crazy. I'm going to guess he was driving while intoxicated because he looks so damn happy to be in a mugshot. And that can only mean that you're drunk to me. He has a couple things to do, so I am pulling lone duty here. Not to be confused with pulling one, which would help your mental health. She's stealing because she would like to steal the eyebrows of this particular woman. Now, this man looks like he has threats. Ooh, no. See, it's always the silent ones. And then this is meth possession. Now, as I am continually wrong on all of these, let's see how this went. Ooh, holy crap. I am a genius. The one time Shizzy isn't here to do... Holy ballsack. I won. This is the best day ever. I'm going to take this confidence about my decisions into everything today because I still have to go get curtain hanger Roddy thingies and other dealies. Okay, Jeff Montgomery, I am going to be very honest, and this is a mo-fessional. I don't know how to take a screenshot. I have looked at how you're supposed to do it, and then I do the S windowy shifty thing, and then it takes it goes gray and you click on the thingy thing, but then I can't ever find the picture. It's like my computer is actively hiding it from me. And then I go back to the help thing and I'm like, Google how to take a screenshot. And then it says, do these same things that I just did. And then Mr. Mo comes in and it works perfectly for him. It just pisses me off. Anywho, that's my confession. I really don't know how to take a screenshot. I will be clipping this because this is the first and only time I may be right on this. Mark this down on your calendars. July 11th. Mo came, she conquered, and she is reveling in the, what is it Arnold says? The lamentation of the women. Awesome. I will try that. I'm just terrible at it. Remember, have a great day. I am sending you guys over to Baker. He is doing a rewatch of the Bradley Yon case. It is a horrible, demented case, but the fact that the perpetrator is pro se and possibly the dumbest, most outlandish person in the world kind of makes it okay to watch. And thank you so much. I got some new kind. I'm working on shading. I'm It's cool. That's what I'm going to do. Have a lovely day. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire, because honestly, you never know what chimpanzees are going to do or who's going to take away your Dylan. So, keep ready to go. And when in doubt, when stressed out, act like a Victorian woman. Work one out. On that note, I'm going to leave before I'm fully red.